Ozonics Killerwinds podcast back again. We got the nuke. Let's just hit him in the dome, as he would say. We got me. Let's do this. What are we talking about?
Kind of a lot of different things.
Here's what we're talking about. This is going to be a 100% Nick and Cole authentic riff sesh.
Yeah.
You might want to buckle up, hold on. We're going all over the map today.
Yeah, we're going to just talk a little bit about the year. Dig a little deeper. Not so much stories, but more so the mindset, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, mindset, perspective, learnings.
Yep.
There's gonna be a lot of things that we're gonna try to tie loosely together.
Yeah.
We'll see if it works out. This may be just a real montage
just
of
ramble
who knows what goes on. And listen, I'm apologizing in advance. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what's gonna happen. It could get crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think this was a really a big important year on like a lot of different aspects. I just feel like the way a lot of things shook out, there was just a lot of learning, I thought, in my opinion. And for me especially, I thought, and you too, really.
Yeah, maybe more than other years.
Yeah. And so I think it'd be something cool to talk about because I feel like what we're going to talk about is kind of real.
Well, and it's interesting because I feel like year to year when it comes to deer season, you know, when I really go deep down, I don't feel like I learn a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe that sounds bad.
No.
See what I'm saying? Like I learn stuff and you evolve and you gain experience and stuff like that. But like morally and ethically and where I stand on things, you know, I don't feel like that year to year maybe grows deeper.
Yeah.
And this year it kind of felt like it did.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
You know, and I think part of the reason for that is, and I actually just had this conversation earlier today with a buddy of mine. We're talking about trying to plan a hunting trip together, right? And I made a comment to him. I'm like, you know, I was like, dude, I told him, I'm like, I don't have a ton of people that are like super duper important to me. I have a very small knit group of people that are really important to me.
Yeah.
And that's my wife,
Yeah.
my kids. You know, you make that short list. There's just a handful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this and you're like, I wonder if I was one of those people, you probably are, but there's not very many of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, if for those friends and family that I have that are on that list, I'll do absolutely anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
And with that also said, that really relates to hunting for me too.
Yeah.
You know, because like this year, I've said this from the very beginning, and we've only checked one of those two boxes. I really wanted to get you a buck, and I really want to get Jet a buck.
Mm-hmm.
But to tie in what I was saying about my buddy, you know, we were talking about like, oh, you know, like, let's do this trip. We're trying to think about stuff, plan stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't need to hunt. I get just as much satisfaction, just as much enjoyment, and the passion for me burns just as hot and as hard being the guy that's just there along for the ride and helping in any way, shape, and form that I can, whether that's just like guiding or calling or packing meat out or just being a part of the hunt and helping, you know, just try to make the right choices to have the harvest happen. That means just as much to me, you know, and the way that this season worked out for me. Sorry, I feel like I'm just sounding a little bit quiet and I'm trying to talk louder.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. The way that this season worked out for me, if nothing else happens the rest of the year, I feel like I'll hang my hat on and be so happy that I was able to help you get a deer and be out there and just push ourselves. And it was a long time coming to see it all work out. That means the world to me. And that's kind of one of the types of things that I know I've always felt that way, but this year especially really felt like the rubber met the road. And it was a really just prime example of that really coming to fruition for me.
Right.
Because a lot of times, especially during the whitetail season, I spent a lot of time, in the years past, I've spent a lot of time just kind of by myself.
Right.
And I felt a lot of satisfaction last year when you shot those couple does, but this was kind of like, this is what you really, really wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I know deep down that who I am as a person, I'm a gift giver. I love giving gifts. Like I love giving gifts, and in any way, shape, or form. And kind of the gift that I can give to you is taking you out on this place that I've been able to hunt for a long time. And whether that's taking you out or jet out or family, friends, like that really means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was kind of random, but that's kind of the type of stuff that we're going to kind of get into.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what's kind of cool is like we before the year we talked about, I think we called it like our 2025 bow season resolutions, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
And we both said things that like we want to try and do, and then talk about it at the end of the season. I wish I should have wrote down what they were, but
I feel like my resolutions were get you and jet bucks. I think that were my only resolutions.
Yeah. I think mine was something like on just hunt whenever I can, basically, not really make excuses. Like
no built-in excuses.
Yeah,
We talked a lot about that.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
We talked about keeping it simple.
Yep.
Not overthinking it.
Yep. That's exactly what it was. And
when we stood at the end of the year, we were like, man, looking back on what should have we have done? If we would have just done this right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to be honest, I feel like we did a really good job this year of just like keeping it simple, and just like even like the last hunt that we had, we were planning on doing a big hanging hunt, and then we got to the base of the tree and we both look at each other and we're like, let's just hunt here.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you can't. Sometimes I feel like when you look back at a season, you go, gosh, if I would have just gone to the river that day instead of sitting at the co-op, oh man. Like if I would have sat at the double on the tongue rather being at the flat, I don't feel like that, because you can play that game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that hypothetical scenario type stuff can go
down a deep hole.
Oh my gosh, you can talk yourself into a circle.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, I've already been here 3 times.
Yeah.
It just like leads to nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like there was any things that like. What I will say with that too is like I don't like to go like, oh, when I was here I should have been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I remember we talked about at the beginning of the season is like being willing to be more accommodating to the way things change. Like sometimes I think you get so dead set on like this is where we need to be, this is our best spot.
Yeah.
And then seeing how when all of a sudden maybe this camera starts to light up, oh well, they're working through here. I think we did a good job of kind of adapting.
Mm-hmm.
The new middle stand is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Here we are, set this new middle stand that we're so excited about. And we've talked about this before about kind of moving trees just a little bit, 10, 20 yards one way or the other. Deer. I mean, we had that deer on camera the other night. You see that deer on the flat, that doe?
Yeah.
Or was it a buck or doe? Looks right up at the tree stand.
Yeah, it was last night.
You could see him looking right up at it.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a spot that we call the middle stand. It's on the edge of the field. We just moved it.
Yeah.
20 yards to the south. Trying to cut off a northwest wind a little better if they come from the east.
Mm-hmm.
We sat that stand
2-3 times maybe.
Maybe. I think we sat it once together, and we sat it the day that I passed No Name when you were sitting at the river.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh, that actually might have been the only 2 hunts that we sat it.
No, I think that seriously was.
Yeah.
I think we only sat it together one time, and then I sat it there that day for No Name, and when he walked by, and then that was it.
Yeah.
So, but that was the spot where I'm like, oh man, this is going to be our spot. Didn't hardly hunt it at all.
Yeah.
Lower co-op, perfect example.
Hunted it one time.
Oh my gosh. We had this spot. They had been working in through there last year like crazy. Oh man, this is going to be our spot. Well, then what did they do this year? They just shifted a little bit to the west in the spot that we're calling the Deer Bridge.
Yeah.
And that's where they're working through.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the interesting thing is this year I felt there was definitely a shift in how deer were moving through there.
Oh,
in all the years that I've hunted it, I felt like I had really kind of consistently like, oh, they're going to be right out here on the edge. They work right down through there. They come up over there. It was way different this year. And I don't know, there's a little bit, and again, I think the consistent thing around north central Iowa, and I have buddies at public land that saw this too, there has been a lot of blowdown.
Yeah.
We had some wins in the summer.
Yeah.
Some really big wins.
Yeah.
That just shifted things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not entirely the only reason, but there was definitely a shift.
It's a factor though.
In what they did on where we were at. And I felt like when the season started, I think, and as the season progressed, we did a good job of being accommodating to that and not being too stuck on like, well, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Where you need to go is where the deer are.
Yeah, exactly.
And that led us to take out lower co-op altogether.
Mm-hmm.
We still got that ladder in there, by the way.
Yes, we do.
yeah. Now that I think of that, we took out lower co-op. We moved Stand in the Woods.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the deer bridge became something that we were looking at a lot more. And then we all of a sudden started sitting down at the flat.
Yeah.
The corner was a spot that we hardly hunted.
Yeah. I think we hunted at one time.
And all of a sudden, surprisingly, again, we saw deer working through the tongue. We had that double on the tongue, and all of a sudden the double on the tongue became an incredibly valuable spot.
Yeah.
Which just feels kind of odd because it just seems kind of out of place.
And it hasn't been the spot.
Nope.
Not since I started hunting there.
Not since I've been there,
Yeah.
especially when there's a single ladder just right down the way.
Yeah.
And that was just not that good.
Yeah.
But just a little bit farther around. And then that's, of all things, that's where you end up shooting Skinny Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt good about that. If I could look back on the one thing that I wish we would have done, and that I think that we, like when at the beginning we're like, oh, it's like, how do we adapt and keep it simple but adjust? We need to figure out a way to hunt thermal hub.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say that's a regret that I have, but I feel like there was days that we could have tried to sneak in there.
Yeah.
And just done an all-day sit on a weekend that we didn't.
Yeah.
We had northeast winds, we had east winds, or we had just really, really strong windy days that you could have slipped in there.
Yeah.
We had deer consistently in there over and over and over.
Yeah.
And we never really, we've never figured out a way to hunt that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a big goal for next year, maybe even sooner than we think, just to get in there and do some scouting. Because, it's way bigger than what the camera shows, obviously. That's how every camera is. And I just feel like if we get in there, we could learn a lot in a really quick amount of time.
Yeah.
And
we also forgot about Crossroad.
Yeah,
Crossroad was another one.
Yeah, another spot that we were really high on to start the year, and it was good early season.
Shot a deer out of it. Shot that button with jet.
Yeah, and it just it was good. There was
deer consistently. That feels like a good pre-rut spot.
Yeah, there was deer hitting scrapes on that.
When they hit that scrape, they move through there.
And then as soon as it got kind of ruddy, it seemed like it just shut right off.
Well, that's what I think you're describing about trying to break down this piece a little bit more is that what we're describing is this thermal hubs to the south. You've got the Crossroads in the middle, and then you got co-op, and you've got double in the woods and the flat north of that. Mm-hmm. These deer work from the south to the north around this ridge, and we thought, oh, they go through this Crossroads spot, but somehow they're skirting west of that.
Yeah,
they're coming out of thermal hub.
Yeah,
and they're getting past co-op, and they're getting out on that ridge, and we're not seeing them, and it's just a big open field.
Yeah,
so they're sneaking through there somewhere, and I think we just need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing that we talked about during season, now kind of looking back on it, that I'd like to try to do as we move into the off season, and I don't think this is something that you can really do through the apps, whether that's Onyx or Spartan Forge. I've thought about kind of the redneck way is just printing out a black and white, an aerial photo of where we hunt. And I want to do it based around trail cameras. I want to and also do it based around tree stands.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to do it based around possibly bedding areas, also do it based around transitions or funnels. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to have the map. Let's just take trail cameras. I want to take all of our trail cameras, and I want to draw 3 circles. Red, really small circle, yellow, bigger circle, green, bigger circle, and figure out just drawing these circles of distance.
Mm-hmm.
Red being small, yellow being medium, green being big. And just have one that's just all the circles, red, green, yellow, of all of it. So here's the flat. Red circle, yellow circle, green circle. Here's the tongue camera.
Yep.
Red, green, yellow.
Yeah.
And see where these different color circles overlap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And obviously we could mark out trails. Where do we think the deer are walking? Where do we think they're moving through here?
Yeah.
And where are the gaps within our trail cams within those circles?
Yeah.
In a smaller diameter area, medium, and a larger diameter area.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have 1,000 cameras out there and know every deer walk behind every single tree, because that's just not how it works. But
and I think that's the point of taking a step back and really looking at what you're covering.
Well,
and seeing what holes you could fill in with 1 or 2 extra cameras, you know.
exactly. And then go, okay, this is the recon of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's look at stands.
Yeah.
Let's do the same thing. Red, yellow, green.
Yeah.
Let's see what we're covering. Well, where are we not covering? Where are there huge gaps? Well, we know we have a gap at Thermal Hub.
Yeah.
We know we have a gap off of Thermal Hub where there's a couple little bedding areas.
Yeah.
We know we have a gap off what we're calling like the Rut Hotel
Yeah.
past Double on the Tongue back to the east.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where are the gaps? And where can we go, okay, man, we should really try to, and then just even look at a specific color. Let's look at just green. Let's look at just yellow. Look at just red and start to be like, wow, we really aren't covering this at all.
Yeah.
I think that's going to really open up some stuff for us.
Yeah.
It'd be a really cool thing to be able to do in the maps where if you could have all your spots marked and then create whether it's red, yellow, or green, different distances.
Yeah.
And then see where there is and is not overlaps within that.
Yeah,
Because
for
you
sure.
could look at like Thermal Hub, and if you looked at it just based on red circles, you could have maybe 2 or 3 stands or 2 stands in there, depending on where you wanted to be to have it covered. But if you went to a yellow or green circle, it might one stand may cover the whole thing. And there's times for that. Does that make sense? So it's just interesting. I think that's going to help us see where we need to put more effort or where bucks could potentially be kind of skirting through.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we missing?
Yeah.
How do we see them here and then don't see them and see them here? I mean, that's the mystery and the magic of whitetails. But I think that's how we're going to start to solve that puzzle a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get a couple more pieces to the puzzle that I feel like get a couple more pieces to the puzzle that is like pretty well done. I feel like you've hunted it way longer than I have. And it's like, I feel like for the most part, we have it just from our experience out there. We have it pretty well figured out, but there's still some things like when we get there on camera, it's like, what the heck?
How did you come from
Like,
there?
what is
Where
up
did you
there?
walk
Like,
by?
yeah. So, and I think our situation and giving the spot that we hunt, I feel like with all the ag around it, it can be really tricky. Again, we just talked about not overthinking it. Maybe we're overthinking this and they're just cutting across wide open field and getting in somewhere and they're walking by. That could be it. But I feel like it's up to us to put the right step forward, do the right things, and try and figure out on a deeper level than kind of what we have right now, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, what we deal with is a lot of ag against fragmented hardwoods.
Yeah.
And so I feel like what we need to focus on is October, November. That's what we need to focus on is what are they doing in October, November?
Yeah.
Because what they're doing in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September,
Yeah.
Is much different than they're doing in October, November.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we need to figure out how we're going to have it covered when we're actually out there putting pressure on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Now, the trail cam thing, we may think about that during different times of year. Okay, where would our summer cameras be?
Yeah.
Where would our early fall cameras be? Where would our rut cameras be?
Yeah.
Where would our post-rut, like late season cameras be?
Yeah.
So there might be some thought behind that, but like, I agree with you. It's just, you're not going to always figure everything out, but I just think that there's parts of it that we just need to put more weight into.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another big aspect to this is crops. What crops are in? What year is it? Is it going to be a big corn year? Is it going to be a big bean year? I mean, I think that from hunting in Wisconsin to hunting here, I think that's the biggest change I've seen. I feel like the crop rotation makes a way bigger difference here than it does where I hunt up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of another thing to take into consideration as well, so.
Well, and again, the fun thing and the bad thing about the crop rotation is the crop rotation, the way it is, when we have corn it's not very fun early and then it gets really good as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Now next year, again, trying to be glass half full, we're going to have a lot more inventory and understanding of what bucks are out there because it's going to be beans and they're going to be out there. And then unfortunately it's going to get tougher.
Yeah.
It's going to put a lot, but the good thing about that too is I think it's going to put usually the field edge tree stands on a corn year are really good. This year, the field edge tree stands we're not that good.
Mm-mm.
A lot of deer were moving in the woods.
Yeah.
This next year, if I was a betting man on a bean year, once those beans turn and then they're off, the field edges are not so good.
Yeah.
So we kind of went through a fall where they were a lot more deer working through in the woods. Now we're going into a year where they would naturally work through the woods even more.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting. Can we hone in on them that much more next year? We're like, okay, you want to walk the deer bridge? Go right ahead.
Yeah.
You want to come through crossroads, or you want to go through co-op and you like the flat? You want to be and that little creek crossing behind the co-op? Yeah, we're going to be ready for you.
Yeah.
You know, because guess what? New middle, that might get taken down. Corner, some of those other ones that are on those field edges, like we know it's not going to do much for us.
Yeah, exactly.
So guess what, guy? We'll be ready for you. Hey, thermal hub, you're not going to be able to sneak through there. Like we're going to get you.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun little project.
But I think that, to your point too, I think we did a really good job, just like you said earlier, just keeping it simple, not trying to overthink it. You know, we had this big, and we kind of almost caught ourselves in that because we had this big idea right at the last day of the archery split. Oh, let's go in. You know, I'd been in there earlier that week, and they're coming around that ridge on that corner, and you can't shoot up that way. Like, let's just move over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just get a little closer. Like, especially last ditch effort with the bow. Let's try to get real up close and personals. Go for broke.
Yeah.
We get in there early, and we're like looking at it, and it's cold, but it was pretty calm, not much wind. I'm like, gosh, we're gonna make a ton of racket in here.
Yeah.
And we kind of both looked at each other like, dude, let's just sit here. Let's just do this. Like all this rigmarole, and then like we're gonna be out here and we're making all this racket, or we could just climb up dead quiet right now.
Yeah, just get set.
Just get set and just let everything happen. And I'm glad we did. Yeah. Because geez, we saw like 16 or 18 does and a pile and a handful of bucks.
Yeah, it was a great hunt.
There was deer moving.
Yeah.
And so so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, that was a great example of just kind of keeping it simple.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, for sure.
Well, and I tell you what, I think the thing that and again, I'm just kind of putting this out there. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I feel like the thing that you learned from this season is the saying that you hear me say all the time is the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
And that was the epitome of what your season was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking about this off the podcast the other day about opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and like we at Ozonics are always in this little bit of a pickle because obviously we have what we do here day to day, like our normal responsibilities and tasks and things that we're responsible and accountable for and things that we're getting paid to do.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that, right? Yeah. But then the other part of what we're trying to do is, and especially for you, is you're trying to create content.
Mm-hmm.
And creating content really breaks down into three things. You gotta create it, you gotta produce it, and then you gotta publish it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only do one of the three at a time.
Yeah.
If you're creating, you're not producing.
Yeah.
And if you're producing, you're not creating. And if you're creating or producing, you're not publishing.
Yeah.
And if you're publishing, you're not creating or producing. So it's like, it's this triple-edged sword where you can only do one of the three at a time, but they're all three important.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, the saying like the high tide rises all the boats. That does not apply.
Yeah, yeah.
High tide floods the other boats. You know what I mean? That doesn't help you.
Yeah.
You're just constantly like pushing and trying to keep all these three balls going and up in the air. And part of what creating for your content is, and what we're trying to do, like at Ozonics, is trying to shoot instructional videos, trying to get photos, trying to get videos. We're always trying to produce, I say we loosely, you, reels, anthem videos, all sorts of stuff all the time. It never stops.
Yeah.
Like the way that, especially we're all this way, we're looking at our phones all the time, which by the way, Nick said, what did you say the other day? That I'm the worst scroller you've ever met. Wow, that was hurtful. That was really, really hurtful. You know what I literally, after you said that, I was like, you know what? Your shirt is ugly. I just like, you got an ugly shirt on. And you know what? Sometimes your face is ugly too. How does that make you feel? No, I didn't say that. I just took your negative statement and I'm like, you know what, Nick? Thank you. I'm glad that you told me that and you feel that way. I'm going to internalize that and I am going to hate you forever. No, but part of what we're doing when you're trying to create content is you can't be in the office. You can't be producing or publishing, right? Yeah. But what that also boils down to is like, and then we're also trying to hunt, you know what I mean, for ourselves, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's juggling all this stuff. But what it boils down to is just like a lot of people, we don't hunt for a living.
Yeah.
Do we live to hunt? Yeah, absolutely. But we don't hunt for a living.
Yeah.
And so the opportunity that we have per week, if you really put it into a percentage of time, you know, which there's 7 days in a week and that's 100%, man, we're talking less than 20% of the week that we have an opportunity to actually be out there.
Yeah, I'd say probably, yeah.
It's a very, very small window of time that we're trying to squeeze in quality hunts and trying to get it done.
Yeah.
And so I feel like in that 20%, I feel like what I end up trying to do, and I kind of really projected this on you this year, was, man, we got to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
That's the advantage that we have, is we have to work harder. We've got to be out there.
Yeah.
Like when it's time, we got to go.
Yeah.
We got to sit longer. We got to stay. We can't leave. We only have so much time. We have to maximize this little percentage of time we have. Because if we don't, and we just hunt lollygagging through it, like that's not going to work.
Yeah.
We don't have that many times that we're standing at the table rolling the dice. If there's 10 times, we only get 2 times to roll.
Yeah.
Not 10. We only get 2, you know? And so it's like, so I feel like the theme was, we got to work harder.
Yeah.
And I think that we really did that. And I mean, the day that you killed that buck was the epitome of that 1,000%.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been the worst day ever.
Yeah. It was pretty brutal.
I really tried to act like it wasn't that bad as it was getting closer to try to not totally like mentally jinx you out of it.
Yeah.
But it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal.
But like you said, it all worked out, you know, and the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I really feel like if we would have not hunted all day, we would have left or come back in. I feel like the chances would have been very, very slim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, no, looking back at the year, the one thing I've been thinking about a lot recently is it just felt like this year as a whole was just easier. I don't know. I think I know a big reason why, and we'll get into it. But what I'm saying is I felt like in years past, every time I went hunting, I almost had I don't even know how to say it. I don't want to say I was like dreading it, but like I would just get so stressed out on the drive there. I would just be like, not panicking, but just like, okay, here we go again. Like, we got to do this again. Like, oh my gosh, here we go. Like, it honestly was like, I still enjoyed it, but like it like wasn't as fun as it used to be. And it just always constantly felt like a chore, kind of like it just felt, I don't know. I just didn't feel full when I was out there, but it felt like this year, every hunt, I could feel myself taking everything in more, enjoying it, having a good time, cutting up, laughing every single hunt pretty much. I mean, obviously you're going to have hunts where stuff goes wrong and whatever, but for the most part, it felt like as a whole, it was just a really fun, good year. And honestly, I think the biggest reason was for some reason something changed my brain, but I felt way more comfortable in a stand.
Yeah, you seemed way more better.
And
more better doesn't make any sense. But yeah, you could tell that from the very beginning. Your bathmophobia didn't seem to flare. It flared a couple times towards the end of the season, I feel like.
Yeah,
when it got cold.
And when we talked about that frantic feeling of getting really cold.
Yeah. You could see, you can, well, it's kind of funny. The kids this is unrelated related. I was in a hurry this morning. And I knew I was in a hurry. I'm like, kind of like, oh, I'm going around the house. I'm trying to get my stuff going. And Bo's like, she's like, Dad, you're like huffing and puffing. And I'm like, what? And Jet's like, yeah, Dad, you're like grunting and like making all these weird noises. And I didn't realize it, but I was like in a hurry. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I went in the living room and I like knelt. I was like, oh, you know, like, and that's what you do when you start to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
You start to breathe heavy.
Yeah.
You start to just kind of like huff and puff a little bit. And I can always tell it.
Yeah.
Even when I was down on the ground, I could hear it up there. I'm like, oh yeah, he's starting to get a little bit.
Yeah.
Panic starting to set in a little bit. I can just hear it.
Yeah.
You get down and you're trying to take your backpack off and you're trying to take your saddle off and like everything is just like more intensified.
Yeah.
You know, and you did that every single hunt since the day I met you and we hunted together.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Up until this season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Really, really bad.
It was just like, it was like this bizarre, like, I hate using the word anxiety because everybody uses this blanket statement of anxiety.
Well, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Or just anxiousness or whatever. I guess that's anxiety too. But you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah. Is anxiety a verb or is that like a condition, right? Like anxiousness is a verb. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody's just like, oh, it's anxiety. I'm like, well, what is anxiety? Like, what is that actually like?
Yeah.
Is that really what it is? Or is that what we just say? Everybody just, that's like the magic word everybody says now. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, you just felt very like, I don't know, tense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it just always felt like something was going to go wrong. And, you know, you were just waiting for it.
Yeah.
You know, it just always felt like, like the day you punched the tree.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
Or like the day remember that day we were at the middle stand and like you climbed up first and I was just like sat down on my backpack and waited and you were in a frantic
Yeah.
for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know how to describe it. But this year that just like went away.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, I was like, oh yeah, this is way better.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like your setups with your bags, like the marsupial bags, you got those gear bags.
Yeah.
Gosh, those things are awesome.
Yeah.
And the way that you were like not putting everything in your backpack
Yeah.
and carrying up a lighter pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you would pull that up, you pull up that marsupial bag with the camera gear after.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was, but you just seemed a lot better.
Yeah. It was really good, and it just made the whole year way more enjoyable as a whole. Like, even the night before, I'd be like, heck yeah, we're going to go hunt tomorrow. And like years before, I would already be thinking about that, already thinking about the S-word show that's about to go down. Like, you know.
S-word show.
Yeah, and it's like, 'cause it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing as all get out, you know, and it just made it not fun. And so this year just felt like every single hunt was fun. Every single hunt was enjoyable to be there. Like
I don't even know what changed. I remember it changed the first day we went. For the first stands we sat in together was the new middle. And we went in there, and I remember I climbed up first, and then you just like zipped right up there, and I'm like, huh.
And that's
all right.
kind of a sketchy
And
stand
that's a
too.
sketchy one. It's all get out.
Yeah.
That one's sketchy because you have to climb up at not a vertical angle,
Yeah.
not a horizontal angle, but more like an angle like this.
Yeah.
It's like the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you did really good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
So that,
It did make it more enjoyable.
yeah, it made it way more. And plus too, like on the days that I got to hunt by myself, I felt better about wherever I need to go, I can go.
Well, and it's just like my wife said this to me years ago. I used to really like to golf. Nick and I have done a little bit of golfing, but I used to golf a lot more when I had 4 kids ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's just me and Tatum and Mia.
Yeah.
And we were just like, I had nothing but time on my hands. I used to golf, and then I remember what you golf long enough that you start to feel like you hit a real good shot, that you hit like 9 bad ones. All of a sudden, the bad ones start to really bother you.
Yeah.
And I remember I was getting so frustrated. I was getting so mad.
Yeah.
And I'd come home, and Tim's like, do you like golfing? And I'm like, yeah. Well, then don't come home and be all mad.
Yeah.
She's like, if you're going to go out there and you're going to do this fun thing, you're going to come home, you're going to be mad, then just don't even go. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And I stopped me. I was like, crap, I didn't think about that. And that's kind of what I felt like hunting kind of had turned into for you for some reason.
Yeah.
It got to be like this, you know, like you lost the mojo.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it got like something about the climbing up and down and all that part just really got you all freaked out.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. And I had never had that before. You know, hunting at home and stuff. I was always really eager to get after it. Nothing ever really bothered me. And and I mean, I was more of a spaz about like not seeing deer and stuff back then. Now I've learned that's
Well,
just,
every once in a while you still get a little hangry.
yeah.
You got a little hangry on Billy Nobrow that day.
Yeah, that one made me really mad. That one did make me real mad. That one was a tough one because I like to, when something goes wrong, I like to be able to learn from it, and I couldn't figure out anything that I could have done differently.
Well,
and
that's 100% how I felt about Brutus at the time. I pulled a Nick Simon after Brutus walked off. I did.
Yeah.
I did the old, yep, I'm out of here. This is stupid. I'm mad. I'm gone. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm packing my stuff up.
Yeah.
And then I, within, you know, the irrational, rational thought, after my rational thoughts went back to normal thoughts, I realized that the best thing for me to do was just sit there, because I was going to be nothing worth of anything to anybody that I ran into in public, and I definitely wasn't going to be anything to friends or family. So I'm like, I better just sit here and sulk in this for a while.
Yeah.
Golly.
But But yeah, I think another thing too that I don't mean to ramble so much, but the other thing I learned is, um, the buck fever really hit me hard, and I need to learn how to reel that in.
Woo!
That was like super, super embarrassing. I hate it.
Oh, I have no room to talk because if you want to, go ahead and play back the video of me screaming like a madman in that
Yeah.
turkey.
Yeah, that was a big learning. That I've never done that before ever in my entire life. I normally stay pretty calm. I don't know if maybe this one is just a culmination of so many things that it just like really took over my body. And I'll say this, the positive thing about that is I was able to reel it in for the shot. I stayed really calm through the shot process, but then after that it all boiled over really bad. But
Well, that's okay.
yeah, but it's just I'm so still on cloud nine about that buck, but it just feels tainted for how I reacted after, and I just hate that. So I got to learn from that. Maybe I just need to shoot more bucks.
No. Well, I think in the heat of the moment, I think what you were feeling was in the heat of the moment, you were just excited and
Yeah.
it was just all boiling over and you're like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I think what you were after the fact, when he wasn't just right there, I think instantly you were like, okay, if that costs me this,
Well,
I'm going to be really, really pissed.
well, and
You know
then
what I mean?
and then it was also like right after, like obviously I called you right away. I called my dad right away, and then I called Benny. And right after all that got done, I just had like 4 seconds to like sit there, and I'm like, okay, reality's setting in. Like I don't know if the deer's dead yet.
Yeah.
Like there's still a lot that has to be done
Yeah, kid.
before I can react like that, even remotely. And I just remember thinking, God, that was just so stupid of me. That was just dumb. It was so stupid. I'm still so mad at it. It taints the entire thing, honestly. Sometimes I lay in bed and I'm just like, why did I freaking do that?
Now, listen, dude, we've all been there. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, and again, it all comes from experience. There was a time I'll never forget. I was in Colorado and I was guiding an elk hunter, and this guy shoots this bull and he shot it. And the bull like reared up and he came back down. And when he came down, he went head over heels. I'm talking like he went to step down and he went face first, legs up, and back to the ground again. And I remember there was another guy and the client there, and we all were like, whoa! We started freaking out. And I did too. I was like, yeah! And it was a far shot. And it was crazy how the whole situation worked out. I won't say much more than that. But that bull did the flip, crappie flop for like 3 seconds, got back up, and ran off.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And we chased him for a day.
Yeah.
And we finally killed him,
Mm-hmm.
but he was far from dead.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he hit him low on the leg, and
Yeah.
he broke his leg. So when he reared and he came back down, he tried to put his weight on, and he fell.
Yeah.
And he was obviously stunned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what's going on? But he gets up, back up, and he's hobbling off, and boom, there goes our shot opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, gosh darn it. Like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I know better than that. Like, I
Mhm.
know better than that. Like, geez, what am I doing? Like, celebrate after, man.
Yeah,
Like, what am I
exactly.
doing? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And we had to, it was like in the, I don't remember if it was the morning or afternoon, but we had to go through the night and then come back.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And so, yeah, I totally get what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I try not to go like, and again, that was a learning lesson for me that it's like, okay, you can absolutely scream bloody murder and Ric Flair all day long once you're standing and you're touching it.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
until then, let's hold it together.
Yeah. Exactly. Because
You know,
it's so
Let's
far
not showboat before we're in the end zone.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
so far from done.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
especially in our case too. I mean, man, that was however long it was till we actually found him. But yeah, man, that's definitely a big learning experience. I still stand behind the fact I think we played that so smart, that entire situation. I still think, just with the weather coming and trying to track him, get a better idea of what's going on. after the shot. I think that was a really big positive, even though it kind of seemed almost wrong what we were doing, because like we knew the shot was back, but just given the weather and everything, it's like we need to do what we can right now before this weather comes to like get a better idea, and we did that. It really sucks that we bumped him, but it felt like that was still the right decision. I think I'm pretty proud of us for doing that, because I think we both had the mindset of like, okay, we got to think ahead here. What's going to happen if it snows 2 inches?
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to say this. I feel like I've had enough things go wrong.
Yeah.
And I've had enough things go right.
Yeah.
That like, I feel like in most situations I can reflect back on my own experiences to be like, oh, this is where I think even in that situation, like, and like trying to discern your excitement from the reality of what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, and then listen to you, but know that you are worked up.
Yeah.
And then try to discern what's happening, and then look at what's actually happening on the ground and with the arrow, and then going, okay, what do I know about this? And like my experiences, it would maybe is this, and then, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, and then on top of all that, it was raining and snowing.
Like hard.
Yeah. And all the blood, you could even see it while we're just looking at it right there on the ground.
Already diluted by the time we saw it.
It's all starting to wash away. And so it's like in the back of my mind, I'm like calculating all this stuff. And then there's a voice in my head saying, the dialogue is saying, dude, if you don't find this deer right now, you ain't finding him.
Yeah.
Like, even if that means you bump him, at least you know there he was and now he's going this way.
Yeah.
And you can get an assessment of like how hurt is he? You know what I mean?
How is he acting?
Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to bump him, but we need to try to find something.
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, it was just a really bizarre situation. And you know, like hindsight 2020 is so hard because at the time you don't know. Yeah. It's like the movie, there's that movie with Tom Cruise, like not Captain Phillips. The movie where that true story about how he lands that plane on the Hudson.
Sully or something?
Yeah, Sully.
Yeah.
In that movie, they show about how like the birds hit the engines, they lose both engines, and they're trying to figure out, like, they go through all these protocols. What do we do? Try this. Oh, restart the engine. Oh, let's try this. That's not working. And he's like thinking, oh, we don't have time to turn around. Gets on the radio. We're landing in the Hudson. What? Turns it. Comes right down, boom, lands it. Gets everybody off the plane. Everybody lives. Nobody got hurt. Off they go. Boom. Yeah. Well, all of a sudden, after this whole thing, whatever powers that be, they start reevaluating. Oh, well, you made the wrong decision. You could have turned and landed back at this airport, or you could have gone to this airport. All these different scenarios, you would have made it. Right? And they're like, geez, did we do something wrong? Like, oh gosh, did we do something wrong? And then finally at the end of the movie, they figure out, he goes, you know what? Now let's make it human, right? Now from the time it hit the motors, they didn't know what was going on. Yeah, you guys have hindsight being 2020. Yeah, exactly. But at the time, you didn't know what was happening. Yeah. So now add 97 seconds of time where we tried to assess what we were trying to do, all the protocols that we should have done to then get to the point to make the decision. Yeah. And that's what was kind of happening for us. It was like, you know, you had to kind of go through the, what do you do? And you don't know if you're going to be able to land it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so maybe that makes no sense at all, but I feel like that's why we kind of kept moving forward. And then as soon as, like, and I'll never forget that, like, we're walking and you heard me say, I'm like, dude, I smell something. You smell that? You smell that? And like literally we're looking at that bud, I look up and there he stands up. Yeah. And both of us instantly got straight down. Yeah. And he hopped off. He was hurt in unit. Yeah. He didn't know what had bumped him or what was going on. You know, he was out of it. Yeah. He knelt down, grabbed my binos. Where is he at? What tree is he at? Where am I standing? Mark the spot where we're standing. He was right through that tree. That's where we last saw him. Yeah. And then just snuck out of there the best we could. And so, yeah, you know, and I think that's the other thing, like I said, for me, from your perspective, is the harder you work, the luckier you get, you know, controlling the reaction afterwards, which that happens to everybody. Yeah. but then the hunt's not over until you actually touch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes there's this connotation that the hunt's over the minute that you let the arrow go.
Yeah.
Or you pull the trigger.
Right.
And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes the way you hunt after the shot and what you do as a hunter is just as important as what you did before you shot. Because if we would have handled that the wrong way,
who knows?
He would have been long gone.
Yeah.
He would have been really Oscar Miking out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's interesting when it comes to all that. And like I said, I think that's the other big takeaway from the season for the both. I mean, especially for you, and I feel like for me too, is like there's a lot more to the hunt than just the shot.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big part of it.
Yeah.
But how you handle where the shot was, what you're doing, what you do on certain shots, and what the blood is telling you, what the arrow's telling you, how the animal reacted, and how you pursue it after that can be a huge, huge part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, it wasn't perfect to getting hit by those coyotes, but it is what it is. Like, that's just, that's reality, and that's real. I mean, there's nothing we could do about that.
Yeah.
He literally walked right around that ridge, and obviously you could see the scrub that happened, and then he went down that little hill, and there he was.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would have been a tough way to go.
Yeah.
Tough way to go.
Yep.
But it is what it is. Like I said, it's crazy that's how it happened. And we had talked about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then here, that's how it happened, was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say you had a big, I wouldn't say, I don't even know how to say it, not even really a learning experience, because in the end you did the right thing. But I think it speaks.
It was like a gut check moment.
Yeah, gut check moment. And I think it's very impactful in very many different ways, which we just talked about this at lunch today. But just the way that went down with your encounter with Brutus, I think what you did was 100,000% right, as in not shooting. But I think just that example for new hunters, young hunters, Jet, I think that's a huge takeaway from the fall and everything that happened, and just looking at situations and stuff. I think that one is super important to talk about. Just because I think obviously you didn't really learn from it because you did it and you knew not to shoot, but this can be a learning experience for other listeners. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, no, this, my caveat before I start is hold on, because this might go all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
And please try to interject so I don't talk for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because it felt like, it didn't feel like it in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
But it's felt like it as I've thought through it afterwards. It felt like a real gut check moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like it helped really give me perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And, and maybe really think about, like, we've talked about this before about being a hunter or being a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was crazy because in the heat of the moment, and as I look back on it now, like if you've been listening, we've talked about this before. We've had this buck named Brutus that we were closing the gap on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the deer that I really wanted to try to kill. And you heard me talk about this. It's crazy, dude, because this is a whole nother thing. I need to start doing this more often, because manifesting things, speaking them into reality, speaking them into existence.
Yeah.
Putting it out into the universe, putting it out there to yourself or to your friends and family. Sometimes, like, we have this here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then who knows who's listening, but like speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
And I said at the beginning of the year, like, I'm killing a big buck.
Yeah.
I told Jet I'm killing Brutus, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way or a boastful way, but I'm just trying to put that out there.
Yeah.
when you make your mind up, I think something like your body and the universe will fall in line. I don't know. That sounds crazy, but
No, it's true.
I've had things happen.
It's true.
Like, dude, look at Alaska.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I said this last year. We're going up there and we're killing that ram, and that's the ram we killed.
Yeah.
Dude, you remember that day I came storming in here. I was looking at those videos, and I'm like, dude, this is that ram from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're killing that ram this year, and that's the ram we killed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy, and like really speaking it into existence. And I was like, and I've told this, I said this to you this year. We could pull the clip of video I was talking about. I'm like, you're killing, say it, you say it, you're killing this deer.
Yeah. Well, and you asked me what deer would you want to kill, and I said, I want to kill Skinny Pete.
I'm just telling you, man. So we were honing in on this guy, and it was like this cat and mouse game, and he felt really killable.
Yeah.
He was putting himself out there. You could tell he was one of the dominant bucks in the area.
Yeah.
And I snuck out there on a Friday afternoon, bump him at 50 yards trying to walk in. He just trots over the top of the hill. He comes back out in the field like an hour later, sends it 150 yards, a lot of gags around, moves off to the northeast. I'm like, okay. Again, walks out of my life. Week before, walks across the river right behind me at 120 yards on the rangefinder.
Yeah.
And then turns and walks straight west out of my life. It's like, oh. So then I go back in there that next morning. I'm like, okay, this is the last, kind of felt like getting to be the last ditch effort. Let's just try it. I'll sit down the river. Sure enough, there he comes just walking down the edge, which will be, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget him walking in from far away, and I'll never forget seeing him once he crossed the fence, walking away.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh, Pete's. They always look big walking away, but gosh, dude, he looked like an absolute mega.
Because he is.
And in the heat of the moment, it just felt like, here he comes, range him. This is it. This is going to happen. Like, I could tell I was excited. Like, I had a little bit of that dump, but it took him a little bit,
Yeah.
So I was like, kind of was like breathing. I'm like, okay, dude, calm down. Like, range, get your thing set. Like, are you feet are right? Are you feel good? Okay, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here we go. Draw back, settle in, like following him along. Okay, there's broadside. Mac at him, won't stop. Mac again, won't stop. Mac louder. Now he's like almost through the lane, and then boom, it's done.
Yeah.
And like in the heat of the moment, like it never felt like just shoot. You know what I mean? Like I never felt that way. But then like, and then he kind of like stands there, and he gets like 100 yards, and I grunt at him, and he turns and looks real hard, and then, does his thing, and then just walks off. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to mess with you anymore. I'm just throwing the kitchen sink at you is just going to hit you with the sink and make you run away faster. Like it's not like that's going to get you to come back.
Yeah.
You're going that way, obviously. That's where you want to be. Everything on trail camera all year, it said, that's where you live, not over here.
Yeah.
That's where you want to go. Do your thing.
Yeah.
But it was like after the fact when like my brain caught up with what had happened, that's when it all started to really like reel.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like instantly like coming off of the moment, I felt devastated.
Yeah.
Like really bummed. And, I called you and I'm like, I was super frustrated. I'm like, seriously? Like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, and it was just the feeling of like, I put so much into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like so much work into it. And it's like, and like, that was it. And I was like I said in the previous episodes, I'm dumb enough to keep hunting as hard as I can, or crazy enough to keep hunting hard, but I'm smart enough to know that that was probably it. That you only get like one shot, and that felt like the shot.
Yeah.
Like that was the opportunity. And it felt like the zombie walking that he was doing was it. You know what I mean? And I did hunt as hard as I could. I mean, and the temps went horrible after that.
Yeah.
Still hunted hard all the way through the season, and he just never showed back up.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like, and I didn't even think about it right away, but like talking to you or talking to, another buddy, he's like, you did the right thing by not shooting. You know what I mean? And that's the part now that I kind of replay 100 times. It's not that I didn't shoot, but it's like, should I have like yelled at him? Like, what should I have done to get him to stop?
Yeah.
And you can see, we have the video clip on the trail camera right down the way of him just marching right by.
Yeah.
He's not like running, he's just walking.
Yeah.
But he wasn't stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, my phone hears me talking like this all the time. So every video that I see on Instagram is guys having bucks run in, Mac, and they stop. I'm like, really? But it felt and it felt like in the time it was the right thing to do, and it was the right thing to do to not shoot.
Yeah.
And you know, again, it comes down to like, I really always want to make sure that for me, it's more about, it's not for me. It's more like it should be for everybody, not just me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say that it should be this way for everybody. It's just not about killing.
Yeah.
It's about hunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have had a really awesome, amazing hunting season.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap on a cracker. It's been a good year.
Yeah.
Like, dude, oh, sorry. That buck on that doe only spot, walking right by like that, give me a break.
Yeah.
Passing Skinny Pete, passing No Name, having that encounter with Bentley, going back out there to that doe spot again, having more bucks walk right by.
Yeah.
Killing 2 does with Jet, separate times in a tree stand with me both times. Him just loving it. He got one of them. I handed him my phone. He got it on the cell phone, which he just thought was the coolest thing, you know. And he did a really good job of figuring out a way to get in position to get it on. And then having my brother-in-law Justin and my nephew there in the woods that other day when I killed that other, and then going out and killing a double. And most importantly, by far above all of that, doing an all-day sit with you and I in different spots, and then having Skinny Pete walk in and killing that deer. It was just like, and how that all worked out, and having Benny and Charlie there and all of it, and the cold and the rain and the wind and the just total crapness of it all. Yeah. And having it work out. Yeah. So it's like, it's not about killing. Right. Am I disappointed that I didn't kill the deer? Yeah, 100%. Yep, absolutely. I'm disappointed. But I'm really, really happy with how the hunt and how the hunting season has gone. Yeah. And I would much rather not shoot than take a bad shot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I think, like, look at your situation. You were almost in the exact same boat. Yeah. If you wouldn't have shot when you shot, you might not have had a high percentage shot at that deer.
Yeah, that was like the only chance I really had. Literally.
I mean, seriously. Yeah. Right? And so it's like, and I think what it boils down to is, and I said this to you at lunch, how do I say this? What I feel like I hang my hat on now is that whether we like it or not, we all, and I've said this before, we all represent this whole thing that we call bow hunting or the sport of hunting or the hunting industry or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. This whole community that's so many different people and perspectives and hunting techniques and weapons and all this stuff, right? We all, whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not, we all, one represents them all. Yeah. In this day and age, in how everything can be one click away from being live on the internet or live on social media.
It's a lot more visible.
Oh man, dude, it's like, I mean, this makes me sound like a boomer, but it's just so right at your fingertips. Like it's just instantly out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And my point is you just never know who's going to see it. Yeah. Who's going to watch it, who's going to hear about it. And like, I feel like sometimes you and I are in a peculiar situation because if you know anything about me, I could give two diddlies. Can't say what I really want to say about being on TV, being on a screen, right? That's not what trips my trigger. Does that make sense? You know, like now we do a lot of that, and we do that trying to represent Ozonics and talk about how this product works, and hopefully at some point people look at trying to buy it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like it, because it really, really works. Like that's a whole nother conversation. But like what I feel like is awesome is like when I went home and I talked to Jet and he could see the disappointment on my face. He's like, well, what happened? I'm like, well, you know, Brutus walked by. Oh, he did. Oh. You know, instantly he's like, you shoot him? Did you get him? I'm like, nope, I didn't, buddy. Well, what do you mean? Like, I was at full draw and he walked by 34 yards broadside and couldn't get him to stop. And you could tell he was like hanging on my every word. Right. And I'm like, and right away before he could even say anything, I'm like, and dude, I am not shooting a deer like that walking. I'm not, that's just not the shot that you take. That's a low percentage shot. From my perspective, that's not an ethical shot. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not shooting at a deer like that. That's going to duck. That heard me mac. You know what I mean? Or didn't hear me mac, obviously. But like, I'm not shooting a deer like that walking at 34 yards. I'm going to aim here and he's going to be here. I'm not going to aim ahead and try to, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of explaining this all to him. And he didn't know that. He didn't know any of that. In his mind, he's thinking, well, shoot it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, dude. And that right there, he was my audience. Does that make sense? Like he's that person that may hear it.
Yeah.
You know, and from now on, like if that situation ever happens and a deer walks by, he's not shooting that deer walking at 34 yards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so like, and that's, I feel like what I really, that now I kind of take away from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just really feel like whether you have an audience, whether you have a following, whether you're filming it or you're not, or you're just going out there because you just love it, we all have a responsibility, right? To try to ethically harvest an animal and kill them in a effective way.
Yeah.
I won't say a fast way, because not like sometimes, I mean, if you hit an animal with an arrow or a bullet in the right spot, and they will die pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is it doesn't always work out that way. You know, you can only control what you do until you let it go. Once it leaves the arrow, once it leaves the bow, once it leaves the gun, there's no control after that.
Yeah, stuff's going to happen at some point.
Stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
But we still, in that moment, we have a responsibility about what we do, how we do it, how we react to what we did or what happened. And there's consequences to all of that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I feel like we live in this day and age where like, it's like, when in doubt, post it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
What are the good views or the bad views?
Yep. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
When it's like, I don't know, like, and maybe this is going to get way too PG-13, but sometimes I joked to you at lunch. I'm like, sometimes I feel like hunting is like husband and wife, right? What a husband and wife do in their bedroom when the door's closed and locked is meant to be between a husband and wife, right? That's an intimate, passionate, personal, private matter that should only be discussed, talked about, interacted between, or experienced between the husband and wife, right? Behind closed doors, locked, with no one watching, right? But all of a sudden, along the way, somebody decided, hey, you know what? Let's video it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that was bad enough. Hey, you know what? Let's post it. Right? And so like, maybe that's an extreme example, but like hunting for me is the thing that I'm the most passionate about, that is such a personal thing that I do, not to be on camera, not to have it published, but just for my own, like, you know, my own desire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, like, so it's like, if things go wrong, you know, or you do something bad, keep it to yourself, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you want to talk to your good friends and talk about it humbly and have a discussion about what I could have done better, or why that happened, you know, that's all good. That's fine. But if you're going to put it out there and publish it and then use it to promote like yourself or whatever you're trying to do, like, gosh, dude,
Yeah.
like, what has this turned into?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
what is going on?
And like you said too, like you don't know who's gonna see it, and you know there's certain situations where stuff happens that shouldn't have happened. Say take an unethical shot. If like you said earlier, you know, your any of your 4 kids can go on YouTube and find
They're one click away from seeing this and being like,
seeing it
and be like,
then,
you know, bro, don't do that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
seeing it, and then say this person makes a bad shot and makes it all seem like it's fine and dandy and it was supposed to be done that way. Well, then now you got a young kid who's trying to learn, and they're going to think, oh, well, these people did it and posted it and made it sound all right. So then that means I'm good to do that. Well, then it just snowballs, and then everybody's taking unethical shots.
Yeah, dude.
You know? And so, like, and that's where what happened in your situation is really perfect, because say you shoot him walking and you kill him, then it's kind of a different story. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do that.
Exactly.
You're going to tell the story to Jet, and Jet's going to think, okay, yeah, I can do that. Well, not really. It's not the right thing to do.
Right.
You know?
Well, and it's like, and it gets even bigger than that, right? Like, what's the goal of what we're doing?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I was trying to say at the beginning is it really started to make me think about, like, when I go to Alaska, when I know who my client is going to be, the first conversation I have with them is, what's your why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Let's just really get to the bottom of why you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually you're going to be tired, wet, cold, scared, hungry, scared,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to swear. Everything's going to go wrong. And the why you're doing this is really going to come to the forefront.
Yeah.
And if you're not rock solid in why you're doing this, then you are going to give up, bro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that for free. Save you a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, and then how that all played out afterwards, I really had to think about, like, it really made me, it like solidified and concreted what my why was,
Yeah.
and knowing where I stood.
Yeah.
Because I look back on it now and I'm sad that I didn't get a shot at the deer, but I'm really appreciative is not the word, but I'm glad that I got to have that conversation with Jet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that we're getting to talk about this right now,
Mm-hmm.
so that maybe somebody else listening to this can put that in their memory bank
Yeah.
and go, okay, well, you know, and that's what's so hard about this whole hunting thing in general, right? Like, there's not like a rule book.
No.
You know, the state of Iowa doesn't put out like, these are the shots that you're allowed to take and these are the shots that you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, like, this gets into a whole bigger discussion. Like, you know, I'll tell you what, if Iowa became a draw blood state, you drew blood on a whitetail, I think there'd be a lot less unethical shots. You draw blood, you shoot an arrow, and you hit that animal, and then that's it. That's your animal. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't think guys are not taking frontal shots or backward shots. Is that what you would call it?
Ham shots.
Yeah. Like hind quarter shots?
Yeah.
Texas heart shot, I guess, is what I've always said. That was on a turkey. Texas heart shot on a turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know what you call that one. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I don't know.
It's I think a good thing to say is it's you see some things and it's very frustrating.
Well,
Because
and again, it one represents everybody.
Exactly, and it makes it frustrating because maybe an anti-hunter sees the video and thinks, "Oh my gosh!" Then it just snowballs. Like it's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, and how this all came up, you had made a comment, and I don't know if we want to talk about this part or not, but like, you know, you were like, you know, it had been said like, I can't believe more people aren't talking about this, and that is a really great point.
Yeah.
It is crazy that more people aren't talking about this.
Yeah.
And you know what? That really resounded with me.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We're talking about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be respectful, but
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to like call out names or anything like that. But I
read
mean,
between the lines.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But it's true. It's like we.
No, I don't know, dude.
We're all people in
Dude,
this.
it's all we're all dude. We're all on the same team.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like we're all on the same team. I
Yep.
don't know. And
Yep. If Jordan Love throws an intersection and we lose the game, Packers lose the game. It's the same thing.
yeah, exactly, dude. I don't know. It's just really, really tricky for me because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an interesting conversation. That's for dang sure.
And yeah, and like you said, that's the trick of it entirely is like, and again, I don't know every little nuance of even what I'm about to say. Like, I know when I was a hunting guide in Colorado, we had people that would hunt that were hunting for television shows on television for television networks.
Yeah.
And the networks at the time, I don't know if this is still a thing now, but they had shots that they're like, we're not showing that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not showing an animal bedded being shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is like, we live in the Wild West now, you know, like outdoor TV isn't the main median that everybody's watching.
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And so, and there's no rules there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get on there and fart the alphabet from your ground blind, then, you know, A to Z, go for it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. It's just like, I feel like there's just some things that should just stay in the bedroom. Like, just knock over the camera and just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
That took a long time to tie that together. And I'm sorry if you didn't follow what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think,
No doubt.
like, I'm a real big fan of like, and you've heard me talk about this, dude, and I've talked about it with you. I like broadside shots. I like quartering away shots. I like, in certain situations, a quartering two shot.
Yeah.
If it's the right situation.
Yeah.
I don't like frontal shots. I don't like backward shots. I don't like where I can't figure out a way where my arrow or my bullet can touch the heart.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Right.
That seems pretty simple.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
how do
straightforward.
we not, and again, I shot a recurve bow for a long time. Like, middle becomes a thing, right? Because you don't want to hit them in the shoulder because you don't have the gumption. It's not going to go through that. And you don't want to hit them in the guts. So you're kind of aiming, you know, like I've hit deer in the liver, right? And like, but I'm not aiming for the liver.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for a double lung or a heart shot. I want to shoot them in the vitals. That's what kills the animal.
Yeah.
I don't know. And is there different ways that you can get to have that arrow get to that point? Yes, there are. But man, I feel like the percentage goes down exponentially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And then on top of all of this, and this is always the thing that I think that we struggle with too. We're on the brink of going to the consumer shows, right?
Yep.
We'll talk about this more, but I'll
Rattle them off.
rattle them off. We're doing Harrisburg, Great American Outdoor Show, February 7th through the 15th. Then we get a week off. Then we're going to Dixie Deer Classic. Got a new one on the schedule. End of March, March 27, 28,
End of
February 27, 28, March 1.
Yep.
Then the next week, Iowa Deer Classic, 6th, 7th, and 8th, or 7th, 8th, and 9th, whatever that second full weekend in March is. Then we get a couple weeks off. Then we go to Wisconsin last week in March, okay? And we go to the shows every year. And part of the predicament that we always have, and sometimes at Ozonics will give me a hard time because I don't wear an Ozonics hat. I've got one favorite hat, which I just tried to super glue, by the way, that didn't work. Okay. Now I just got this stupid super glue on here that I keep touching. But we go to the shows and we feel it more than any other time that people just don't listen to us
Yeah.
because we work here.
Yeah.
They feel like we're just trying to sell to them. And that, I feel like deep down, is the reason that this whole thing, this whole podcast, you working at Ozonics, that's where that, from my perspective, where it all rooted from, is we just wanted to try to show people who we are.
Yeah.
Like, this is who we really are. Yes, we have a product that we're trying to sell, but I want people to feel and know that they're not just a number.
Yeah.
They're one of one.
Yeah.
We want to have a relationship with the people, like other hunters. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like, that's a huge thing for us. And so what I'm saying is like, we obviously know that we're sensitive to the fact that, like, we're here, and it's called the Ozonics Killerwinds podcast. Like, obviously, we work for Ozonics, and rightfully so, believe in the product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we go out and hunt with it and try to show how effective it can work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's my disclaimer to say, like, you know, like, I get promoting product.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But come on, like, draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just have a hard time, like, with some of the stuff that you see out there.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid all of this stuff at all costs, because this is what ends up happening. I end up getting really frustrated, you know, and I don't know if I'm making it any better. I don't know if complaining makes it better. You know, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, I feel like, but that's the biggest problem of all, right? Like, you know, what was that saying that I saw the other day that was like, if a donkey talks loud enough, he thinks he's a lion when he's just a jackass.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, the reality is that with the way things are now, it's like whoever's talking the loudest or speaks last wins or is right. And that's just not right.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, like, you know, somebody's got to speak up.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. And so I just don't agree with all of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? That's the great thing about what we all do, is we all can do whatever the heck we want.
Yeah.
But I think that we all need to remember that we have a responsibility,
Yep.
not only to ourselves, but to each other. We have a responsibility to the people that are looking up to us or watching us or are hunting with us, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to try to put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
And I just, some of the times I see stuff, I'm like, dang, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how did the line get way over here?
Yeah. Exactly. Nope, you're 100%
So anyway,
right.
anyway,
100% right.
I know I'm like really teeing off here. But yeah,
You're
so
fine.
again, like what it boils down to is like, you know, and again, like it comes to a bigger thing, like I said earlier, like what is the why? What's the definition of success? If the only definition of success is harvesting animals, gosh dang, that really sucks.
Yeah.
You know, that sucks. That's for me, that's not what the definition of success is.
No, definitely not.
You know, and dude, you know, like there's parts of the season when I'm going on hunts where, you know, for the person that's there, their success is defined by harvesting an animal.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's no guarantee of that. And I always am like, man, if that's what your definition of success is, then there's a chance that you're going to go home disappointed.
Yeah.
You need to try to find something. You need to grab a hold of something bigger from this.
Yeah.
And if the bigger thing is just that your perspective changes, then mission accomplished. I think that hunting, it means so much more,
Yeah.
you know, and even, and again, hunting comparatively to 200 years ago, they hunted 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago to survive.
Yeah.
They hunted for food, right? There are still people out there that hunt subsistence hunting and people that hunt so that they don't starve all winter long.
Yeah.
But the majority of us hunt because it's something that we're passionate about.
That's something that we love to do.
We're not going to starve.
Yeah.
We're not going to starve if we don't kill a deer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, and so we have to just realize like we are in this day and age, and I get it. But like, that doesn't mean that we just lose sight of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we hunting? Why are we really doing this? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. There was somebody that I talked to months ago, and I mean this with all due respect to anybody that may be listening. Like, I've kind of been on both sides of the fence in the quote unquote hunting industry, right? Or whatever people want to call it. Like, I've been a videographer and I've been around the people and I've, you know, seen both sides of it. Like, I've saw the other side that I was like, oh man, wouldn't that be amazing? I've seen that. And for me, like, what it really comes down to is that's not how I measure success. That's not what I think success and the why is for me, you know, and for me, like, what I respect is I respect experience.
Mm-hmm.
When you have like experience, you know what I mean? Like, you've had experiences, you've really, really gone out there and done it. That's what I, you know, like that's what I gravitate towards. But I also feel like within this whole thing, you know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like a lot of it is scripted reality. Like we can get into the whole thing. But there was somebody that I talked to months ago, and I made a comment to them, a text message. And I don't know this person like really at all. But I texted him, I said, hey man, for what it's worth, I'm like, I really appreciate what you do. Because I believe that one represents them all. And somebody is going to be talking.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to talk. And I appreciate that you're willing to stand up and speak. And I appreciate that. I appreciate what you say. And I really feel like I'm glad that you represent me and you represent all of us. So keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm.
For what it's worth. I'm just a random guy. You don't know me hardly from Adam. But I really appreciate that because somebody's going to be talking. And, you know, the louder the donkey talks, the more he thinks he's a lion. That doesn't mean that he's a lion.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that you're out there saying what you're saying and doing what you're doing. And you're trying to represent whether you mean to or not.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that my boy jet finds you.
Yeah.
And watches you. Right. And so, and I try to block all the rest.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just what I hope for all of us is that when we do what we do, things are going to go wrong inherently. That is this whole thing.
Yeah.
Nothing is a slam dunk. Hunting is a messy, killing is a messy thing at times, right? It's not always perfect.
Right.
And if somebody says that they've never screwed anything up, not made the wrong decision, that's not true. And I'm not saying that you can just like, oh, we can never talk about if things go wrong, da, da, da. But it's like we have to understand like what we're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And what that means and how that what that represents.
Yeah.
And we need to understand that we have a responsibility if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no doubt.
And so that's what it boils down to for me.
Yep.
And I hope that maybe if you're listening to this, the moral of the story is that you will move forward with that type of responsibility.
Right.
And with that type of understanding and understand that a friend of yours or a son or a daughter or a mom or a dad or a grandpa or some random person that you've never met that's scrolling on Instagram may see this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they think, okay, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
You know? And like, it's just like, look at a compass. So this thing called declination on a compass, which is like how far you are from true north. It may be 1 degree, it may be 10 degrees. Well, you don't realize it at first. You thought you were pointing north, you're pointing just 1 degree off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first step, you're only off a foot.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, in a mile, you're off 10 feet.
Off. Yep.
And then in 100 miles, you're off 1,000 feet. And then all of a sudden, you look back and you're not going north at all.
Yeah.
You just started going like this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so hopefully maybe this conversation, let's try to point back a little bit the right way we need to be pointing here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. Yep.
So enough about that. Got anything else? Snapping my finger?
No, not really. I mean, just still got late season coming up. Camera's been super dead. Been a couple days where we've had some action in there. So
We had action when all the hunters left.
yeah, exactly.
It's funny because I'll tell you what, it is, and switching gears, it has been a bit of a rough first in going now into second shotgun thus far. We've got some cold weather again.
Yeah, I had some bad weather.
Oh my gosh.
Bad weather and lots of snow. So it's just been a little bit tricky.
We've had as much snow already than we had all last winter.
Year. Yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It was like Cole said, it was super slow, pretty much all through first shotgun, and then this
Thursday.
Yeah, yesterday I think.
Deer Bridge lights up.
Yep. We had buck that me and Cole had an encounter with last day of bow season. Real nice 8-pointer with a broken G2, and then a buck that we hadn't seen before. Nice 10-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Walked by, and then just a good handful of does and stuff like that.
Bucks that got Jetty written all over them.
Yeah. I mean, we're still seeing good bucks, so that's awesome because any buck has Jetty written on it.
Oh my gosh, he just needs to have this.
Yep.
if he has anything of this, Jed is going to be all over it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's good because like it's true. Like we have been seeing a lot of small bucks still, so that's a good sign.
And there's a warm up coming. Got a warm up middle of next week.
Yep.
And then again, it'll cool down again. Well, that cool down the warm up could help, and the cool down could help.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Yeah, and then we'll roll right into late muzzleloader.
Are you gonna picking up the Muzz this weekend?
Yeah, I think
Picking
so.
up the Muzzy.
I gotta text him. I'll see what he says. If hopefully, I think he's around. I don't know if he's working or not, but yeah, should have it. Should have it. If I don't get it this weekend, I'll no doubt get it next weekend. So yeah, we'll be ready to roll and get back to killing some does. Maybe get lucky, shoot something with a little headgear.
Also, this is not related to anything, but we better give an update. Big update. You don't even know what I'm going to say right now. Can't believe you don't know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're gonna say.
What am I going to say?
I don't know if we want to get into it this
Hey,
late in the pod.
might as well get into it. Let's get into it. We know we have dedicated listeners that are listening that probably want to know.
Internet Invitational.
Iowa Invitational, not the Internet Invitational, the Iowa Invitational.
Iowa Invitational.
Iowa Invitational had their annual commissioner meeting with Nick and his co-commissioners,
JB and Mikey.
JB and Mikey. And what'd you come up with?
We're in the process of expansion.
From how many teams to how many teams?
Adding one or two more teams, looking like probably just one more team.
Okay.
The expansion is going to be a slow process.
Slow process. What happened to the two teams? Do you think the dad team's not going to do it or what?
I don't think the dad team's going to do it.
Unbelievable. I can't
But
believe
we'll
they're
see.
backing out already.
We'll see, though. I'm not sure. So then we'll be adding 2 people to the 2-person team and then a full 4-person team and then potentially another 4-person team.
To take it from 5 teams to 8 teams.
Yeah, last year we had
4.5 teams.
Yeah, last year we had 4.5 teams, and then this year if I'm guessing, we're probably going to have 6 full teams of 4.
And date is still up in the air.
Deciding tomorrow.
Oh, so another meeting.
Well,
Wow. By the time this podcast airs, we'll have another update on the Iowa Invitational date.
The thing is we always do at our annual Friendsmas party, we always decide the date of the Iowa Invitational. So
Wow.
that's tomorrow. We'll see what happens there.
And there may be a location change. That's a big update too. You're not even mentioning that.
Yep,
Spin it Clear Lake, doing a little change.
we're considering to move it to Brick Country Club. We'll see what happens. The thing that's tough about that is that we're still going to stay in Clear Lake.
Logistics nightmare. Logistics
kind of
nightmare.
logistics nightmare. So we'll see what happens there. And then another thing we're adding is a champions dinner. That Saturday night, the winner from last year has to figure out supper, and it's mandatory that everybody is there at the same spot. Last year we had about 4 different groups go to 4 different places, and then we all got split up. So this year we're going to make it mandatory that we all do the same thing. You could be, hey, we're going to McDonald's. Perfect. We're all going to McDonald's. You can grill a steak. Perfect. We'll be grilling steaks for everybody.
I'll tell you what, there was a couple other big rule changes I ain't mentioning that you told me about. Some you guys aren't. Hey, this is getting serious. Not messing around. If you have an unexcused absence from the Iowa Invitational when you were invited, what happens?
You lose your spot, and Cole's the fill-in.
And Cole's the alternate. So better be careful, people.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm bringing the C game, all right? So you better be ready.
So, yeah, a little bit of a shake-up.
So then the real question is then the other thing I think you guys need to decide is, say somebody has an unexcused absence and the alternate being me gets to play, then am I automatically on that team moving forward?
Yep.
Or, oh, baby.
No, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know.
Hasn't been that. You haven't completely decided on that thing yet.
Yeah. I just have in the minutes, Cole is designated floater.
And you guys, I think the beginning of the meeting was pretty funny too, right? What'd you do at the beginning?
We started off with introductions and icebreakers.
I love that.
Icebreakers were favorite winter activity.
But didn't you call something? It's like
Oh,
introduction
God.
in peasantries or something?
Yeah, something stupid like that. I don't know.
No, introductions and pleasantries.
Yes, that's what it was.
Oh, that is so funny.
My favorite was Mikey's favorite winter activity was shoveling snow when it's less than 1 inch. Okay.
Oh, I hope the dad team works out. I think that could be really, really funny because you never know, dude. They may bring their A game. It may get serious.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it sounds like Walt's a pretty good golfer. And you know what? He's only got to be good for 18, baby.
Let's see what happens.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow will be a big day figuring out what day we're gonna do it. So yeah, be good. Be here before we know it.
I just didn't like how you wouldn't spill the beans about how you felt about anything until you got to talk to your co-commissioners. Don't you be?
Hey.
Nick knows that I hate him shoulder shrugging all the time. He just shoulder shrugged again.
Hey, we roll as a pack. We're all as one. Me and my commissioners. I got a great team behind me, and I would never do anything without them by my side. And so,
dude, you sound like you're standing at a podium talking to a bunch of NFL reporters.
that's exactly what it is. But
well,
yeah.
Hey, I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear the finalized date.
Yep.
That could be a shakeup for some people. I'm telling you, it could be a
Could be.
shakeup for you. You never know.
It really could be.
So I'm just going to say, based on what you said, unless there's going to be some sort of amendment, if they schedule the Iowa Invitational and you have a conflict that's unexcused, you could be kicked out of the tournament as the commissioner.
Well, I think that the one potential excuse that I have would be excusable.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know as the commissioner of the golf tournament, you could in any way have an excused absence. You're the commissioner. That'd be like what's his name? Roger Goodell not going to the NFL draft and just be like, oh, sorry, I had a conflict.
Totally different.
I don't think that's I think
Totally different.
That's not different at all. And you could probably say that in that situation,
Here's why.
way more responsibility than the Iowa Invitational.
No. That's totally different because an excusable absence would be family tragedy, would be a work excuse.
Really? So work
Yes,
thing.
for sure.
Really? But who decides if it is an excused or unexcused?
Well, if it's somebody that's not on the committee decides. If it's somebody on the committee that's out, then it's up to the discretion of the other two committee members.
Oh.
So.
I don't know. I think there's a storm brewing, and I think that you may be walking onto thin ice. That's all I'm saying. You just better be careful with all these rules. You may paint yourself into a corner.
That's fine.
You're putting yourself in a room full of mousetraps, and guess what? The only thing you can do is stick your toe into one. That's the only way you're getting out of it. So I'm saying you might get trapped.
Yeah. Yep.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say there's no way that it's the same with Roger Goodell, because if Roger Goodell misses for a work thing, that's his work thing that he's doing. So he would never be able to miss for a work excuse. This Iowa Invitational is not my full-time job. If I have something for work come up, that's an excusable absence. Way different.
Yeah, but
situation.
see, you're breaking your own rules because you can't decide what's inexcusable without your other commissioners here, and you're just saying this like to yourself. Have you talked to your other co-commissioners about what an excused and unexcused absence is?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. No, basically.
Oh, now we're saying basically. Now basically I'm Superman. Basically.
No, this is the thing. Like an unexcused absence would be like hanging out with your girlfriend or something.
Oh.
Because we had some collusion with that last year. We had a guy say that they had a wedding.
Big word, collusion. I like that.
Because we had a guy say that he can't come because it was a wedding that he figured out about the Wednesday before. And then there was a lot of signs that he wasn't at a wedding.
Ooh.
And then we call him up for it. And then we suspect that there was stock pictures of a wedding that they pull off of Google Images that they sent us.
What?
A little bit of collusion.
Oh, my goodness. That guy's out, right? That's an unexcused absence. That's
we'll see what
unexcused as
happens.
it gets.
We'll see what happens. It depends.
After tomorrow, you got to decide.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a shakeup.
Well, the thing that's tough with that, though, is he was out last year, so he already had a fill-in last year.
Well, I ain't getting nothing now.
But do you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Because he already wasn't on a team last year.
Got it.
And so this year, like, we don't have a spot for you to fill in just yet, but we'll know tomorrow.
I know. I just think it's funny to mention it. But I'm also going to put it out there without the co-commissioners as a commissioned alternate, is what I'm calling myself, commissioned alternate, that everyone that's going to be at the Iowa Invitational is invited to Hancock County Speedway on Friday night.
I know.
Last year, I was at the races. I was ready to rock and roll.
Nobody showed.
Got stood up.
Nobody
Standing there by
showed.
myself. Had to make friends.
No, I know that kind of sucked. We were planning on going, and then everybody showed up really late. They got there at like 8 o'clock. So then by the time we would have got over there, the race would have been dang near done. So we're like, we'll just stay here.
Man, they really missed out. That could have been a great way to kick off the weekend.
I know. That's what I keep trying to tell them, but nobody listens.
You know what? Thursday is the best day of the week for me come spring, summer, because you know what? Guess how I kick off my weekend? Guess how I kick it off every Thursday?
Algona and then Britt.
Kossuth County Speedway, Hancock County Speedway,
Mason City
Speedway.
Yep.
Great weekend. Great way to start the weekend. Start on Thursday with a little dirt track racing.
Yep.
Little mod racing, little B mod, little stock cars, little hobbies, maybe some midgets, midget cars.
Yep.
All right. Okay, another podcast in the books. Ozonics Killerwinds podcast. Thanks for watching. Co-commissioners, good luck this weekend on finalizing the date, the time, the place. You guys got a lot to figure out.
Good luck out there.
Stay classy, stay warm,
Stay safe. Shoot straight.
Don't make stupid shots.
Make good decisions.
Yeah.
Be smart.
Don't forget to buy significant others Christmas presents because time's coming up soon. That's it.
See you next week.
This is getting dumber by the second here. Stay classy.